I mean, you didn't need to stroke my leg for that bit. Though. Hello?
Hello?
Yep, it's working. Good.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Let's go. It's... I fucking nearly said the wrong title. Matchweek 10. Dead Air Special. I nearly said No Bubble Podcast because it's been another day because the computer had a fucking seizure. And there's no timer on this one because that counts in frames. So, yeah. I have to record on GarageBand.
Ooh.
But me and Nikos are here to talk about football again.
All about a football.
One microphone and we're looking into each other's eyes.
Do you feel nervous now?
That was quite sinister. You want to know how I got these scars? So, 10 weeks of this. There's not been a European game between this, is there?
No.
No. Then it's...
Because you got the cup at the minute.
Oh no, there was the Champions League before the... We talked about that last week, but that was before this week.
That was before this week, yeah.
You beat Red Star.
Red Star, yes.
But it didn't work for your stuff in the league, though. So.
No, I mean, they've done alright in the league this time round, but not the result that they wanted.
No.
But they couldn't take positives from that, so this week I'm not too pissed at them.
Well, that's good. I'm very pissed, but we'll get into that.
We will get there.
We'll start off on a really good game, though, because you were texting me, it's going to be 10. It's going to be 10.
I was so hoping, man.
So
they deserved it.
Leicester versus Southampton. Southampton 0, Leicester 9.
Madness.
Where do we start with this one? Because this was Friday night as well, wasn't it?
I think we pretty much got to start with the goal and the red card, the first goal.
Go for it, hit me.
So, Chilwell, good goal. Bertrand, a bit of dirty play. VAR picked it up, which this is what I personally want to see VAR doing.
Calling back on
yeah,
decisions,
definitely,
overturning.
100%.
But not interfering with the overall gameplay.
No, yeah. Definite red card there, and
Very high challenge.
that pretty much turned the game Leicester's favour. I mean,
do you think if Bertrand hadn't got sent off, it would have made that much of a difference? Because I think
Leicester,
Southampton just sort of seemed to have heads down from the start.
Yeah, I reckon Leicester would have still won, but nowhere near the scoreline that they got.
It was insane, and fair play. It was Andre Mariner was the ref, wasn't he? Pulled it back for a red card on Bertrand. The Chilwell goal stood, and then I think the floodgates just opened, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, 2 hat-tricks. One for...
Jose Perez and one for Jamie Vardy having a party.
So
how many assists for Chilwell? Was it 3,
he got 2
4?
assists and a goal.
2 assists and a goal.
Not bad. I mean, he had a good game.
Madison scored a free kick.
Great free kick.
Good header by... Was it headed by Tillemans or was it... I don't know. No.
No.
Vardy was a header. Tillemans half volley.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know anymore.
Very good.
This was so it feels like so long ago, this game. It was a Friday night, but...
Yeah, it was Friday.
Leicester are dangerous, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to definitely be... I'll be very surprised if they don't get top 3. If we go by current stats and current games, top 3, 100%. You just think these players, or these teams, should I say, that are going to be missing out. So your likes of Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea.
One of them is going to drop. Man United.
Yeah. So
it's going to be interesting.
Only one of them is going to get that top 4 position in 4th. Because I reckon Leicester might, if they keep going how they are, grab 3rd place now.
Yeah, I don't see them finishing any lower than that because they're just on it. Unless they can have a major drop. Is that this week's one?
Yeah. I mean...
Fucking hell, they're so annoying. I mean, I know we're in 5th, but we had the chance to go back to like fucking 3rd. And we fucked up twice.
Yeah.
But anyway, fair play to Leicester. Playing some great football. Brendan Rodgers stamping his style on the team.
Yeah, I mean, he is a great manager. He's we see him...
a great tactician and a great man manager. He's just...
We see him about different clubs and he's made his different stamp on different clubs, but...
They always have that set style and...
I reckon he's definitely the right guy for Leicester right now.
Oh, definitely. I mean, everyone thought he was mad to leave Celtic, but...
Nah.
With them... Imagine if he had more money behind him.
Yeah. You never know what could happen there.
Insane! Move on to Saturday's games. Burnley 2, Chelsea 4.
I mean...
Bit of a card-packed game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like about 5 yellow cards. It was... Assists. Oh, it's got assists on there as well. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. But goals, hat-trick for Pulisic.
Yeah, Captain America, as they said.
That was the craziest thing I've ever heard. Willian got a goal, and then goals from Jay Rodriguez and Dwight McNeil. Burnley were unlucky. I think they woke up too late.
Yeah, I mean, you see them push at the end. I mean, what was it? 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So they could have, if they woke up a bit sooner, they could have got themselves a point out of that game.
I think it's just that Chelsea just started the game with such a high intensity. They did play a very high press when not on the ball, and Pulisic finally arrived. He finally took his chances. One with his left, one with his right, one with his head. The perfect hat-trick, as they say.
So, pretty good there.
There was a good VAR moment in this, because VAR's becoming more and more of a talking point. We'll probably get into that more when the season ends, when we look back on whether it was worth it.
Yep.
But Callum Hudson-Odoi was booked for diving.
Yes.
After a VAR decision for a penalty.
And that was a good...
was overturned.
That was a good callback as well.
Yeah.
So, pretty pleased with...
Are you pleased with the fact that VAR's actually getting some decisions that aren't just offside goals?
These 2 goals, or games should I say, that we've spoke about so far, so the Leicester game, VAR obviously went back with that red card situation.
Yeah.
And again, now in this Chelsea game, did the same with the yellow card. So it's good that they're actually there doing what supporters, maybe Chelsea supporters and the Southampton supporters wouldn't have wanted it to happen, but it's going in the favour of how it should be going. Like, foul play shouldn't be allowed.
No, yeah, it has to be more than just like, oh, that goal wasn't offside.
Yeah, definitely. So it's good to see that it is being used for what we expect it to be used for.
They need the monitor on the side of the
pitch.
I'm
surprised, because
it's the head of referee.
The Prem hasn't got it going on, right?
Yeah, I think the head of referee.
In World Cup we see it.
Yeah.
Because they actually went to the screen and checked it themselves, and
because if they're unsure,
that's the only thing.
If it was there, they could at least go back, watch it, and then gauge their own opinion on it.
Yeah.
Rather than being told by someone, because it is very much the perspective.
That's the only thing I disagree with this time round.
And I think maybe if we had, like, next season had the pitch side monitor, then at least if they weren't sure, they could look at it, draw their own conclusion from that, and then you can't really moan about it.
Yeah. And it should. I know it's VAR and whatever, but it should come down to that ref being able to see the situation and then making the choice if they did make the wrong choice the first time round or whatever.
There needs to be more of a sort of, I think, a way of looking at it, a better sort of officiating of it.
Yeah.
Because I think where you need more people trained on it and the rules of the game and how that coalesce with how the referee and all that come together.
Yeah, it was last week when you said about obviously the refs being mic'd up. Maybe this is something that maybe they need to look into as well.
Because then at least they could foul on Harry Kane penalty.
Yeah.
Or overturn dive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that...
Because then at least then it gives the supporters, because then they're not going...
Take it to the FA, George, you might be able to get something out of it.
We should do that. Because then instead of it just coming up decision goal, no goal, red card, you can at least say what he saw.
But do you reckon they're doing it in that sense to protect the players? Because obviously the players, you know how they are when they go at the refs and stuff. Are they doing it to protect the players from any backlash from what they say?
I think they're more protecting themselves, because the thing I don't like is referee accountability, because refs are not held accountable for when they're poor at officiating.
Yeah.
Whereas if a manager puts out the wrong team and his team gets absolutely demolished, or a player doesn't step up and perform in a big game, they get scrutinised not just on social media but also you'll have when they interview them on Sky Sports or on Match of the Day and be like, can you tell us what went through your mind with this? Why don't they do it for referees as well?
Definitely.
Because referees have too much protection around them, and if the players and the managers are getting stick, which is a big point of this week,
yes,
then why aren't the referees getting it as well?
Definitely.
But say lovey. Game number 3 is this?
This is indeed.
Yep, number 3. West Ham 1, Sheffield United 1. Fair point for both teams.
Yeah, I mean both teams could have got a win out of it. Maybe one more than the other. But
West Ham just seemed to be getting lucky, sort of because they're picking up points, but they're not playing well.
Yeah.
Whereas Sheffield United obviously have been playing. I've said most of the season, been playing well, getting the points at the hard games.
You think they're still the new boys, and they're getting results against teams.
It's still a well-earned point, but I feel like they should have got more out of it, but just falling on another day, just for the strikers when the crosses are coming in and they're just a bit behind it, or the ball's a bit behind them, and they're just sort of... It's just one of them games where it was just a bit of a deadwood one.
Yes.
But great goal from Snodgrass, and Musa. Well, good goals, was it?
Yeah, Musa scored a good
44
goal.
minutes and 69, so... Yeah, either or, another day. Could have been very, very different. This was a boring one. Watford, Bournemouth, ended in a goalless draw. A lot of yellow cards by the looks of it there, Nikos.
Yeah, it's not good.
8 yellow cards. No VAR in this one, was there?
No, I was very surprised though, because Watford did have enough chances and they could have got themselves a result out of this game. But are we just seeing a team that are just struggling overall, are just scraping as many draws as possible to try and hope that that's going to keep them in?
Well, at least they're getting points.
Yeah.
Watford have really, I think, that what they need is just sort of like a win, just to sort of get some wind up their sails and just to like get off the mark and maybe like get some form together, because there is a team that was doing really well last season, got to the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
They are missing Troy Deeney big time.
Is that something you reckon that's hitting them, Troy Deeney not being there?
Yeah, because I don't think there's a lot of leaders on that pitch, and then you're changing manager.
Yeah.
Back to a manager that's, worked with them previously. I think Dan said on Monday when we went to QPR, because that was it was Kiki Sanchez Flores' interview, and he said that must, like, hiring him back over whoever it was that got sacked, I don't remember his name, like, that must be a draw for like getting players in January.
Yeah.
If you're getting someone like him in, or for players that are already there must be more of that, the attraction on that level than the actual playing style.
Yeah.
Because he's very much about defending, but apart from that, Watford don't really seem to be able to sort of connect defence to attack.
No, yeah.
Sort of the middle is sort of where they're losing it.
I mean, do you reckon they're just playing like week in, week out just for a draw? Do you reckon that's what their aim is, just to get a draw out of the game?
I think he's coming and said, like, let's shut up shop, let's stop conceding goals.
Because it doesn't look like they're pushing enough to be able to get themselves a win at the minute. It just looks like they're just aiming to get at least a draw, and that is it.
I think they're like aiming to like plug the holes, stop leaking through so many goals, and then focus on maybe bringing in some. Wait for Troy Deeney to come back. To maybe get some attacking options in January.
Yeah.
Maybe push on. Maybe that's the thing. But that's a dangerous game if you wait until then to try and kick on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you think by the time that all comes into effect,
Liverpool will have won the league.
Yeah, and they might not have enough games to be able to save themselves. So.
But we'll have to wait and see on that one.
We shall indeed.
Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Everton 2. Big VAR moment in this. With the penalty for 2-2, wasn't it? Yeah, by Morpie. There was a dive. Everton been unlucky, and they sort of started to get a bit of run of form going.
Yeah.
They did sort of have control of the game, and then they just sort of never really kicked on and sort of finished it off, because they had plenty of chances just to leave Brighton dead and buried in their own backyard.
Yeah.
But Brighton are winning against the big boys, man. They're taking points off Everton, took points off Spurs.
Yeah, they're doing well.
They'll take points off us, because I don't doubt that. The penalty that was given for Morpie, I don't remember who it was that was fouled, but it was a dive.
Yeah.
Jumped up, because did it look like that Keane stood on his foot?
It looked a bit like the way the VAR the VAR showed the footage. It looks like he could have been on his foot, but if he was on his foot, that was too dramatic. Like the way he went up,
his leg.
Yeah, too dramatic. So, in the sense of if they did give the pen because he stood on his foot, then yeah, fair enough. But you don't need to give dramatic performances after an incident, being a bloody player, because this is football. These are meant to be men, but they're not acting like men.
Yeah,
and this
You're
is
trying
what
to cut
I just
out this point of the game. That's the thing that I think with another year of VAR, maybe that will start kicking out some of those things, like the dive in the dramatics and stuff like that.
It'll be good.
That's not what football is. We haven't paid however much a ticket costs to go and see people rolling about on the floor.
I mean, this is something I'm looking forward to speaking to within the next few games.
Oh mate, you wait. I've got a lot to say. I've got a lot to say on fan bases in general for that one.
Yeah.
But fair play to Brighton getting the 3 points and looking steady and making some moves.
Yeah, pretty good.
Man City, I mean, they never really got first gear, but they still blew Aston Villa away.
I mean, they're just there. They're always going to score, and they're always going to.
They have to win everything.
Yeah,
they have to keep on Liverpool's tail, don't they? Really, is it a 6 point gap now?
Yes.
Yeah. 6-point gap instead of an 8, and it could have been a 3 if Liverpool had not won, but that was jammy bastards. Sterling again, like amazing for like he's just such a he's the definitive article.
I'm not a massive fan of Sterling. Or
I've
if
not
you
been
if
a
you
massive
ask
fan
if
of
you asked
Sterling.
me maybe 2 seasons ago or whatever, I wasn't a big fan. More recently,
especially the way he conducts himself.
Yeah,
off the pitch
just his his football over the last year, maybe pushing year and a half, has been really good football. And being a football fan,
you just love to see the way he
not
just plays, but also his love for the game and like his love for getting, the kids involved in it and stuff like that. Like he's very generous and gives back.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't forget where he's come from.
I'm not a massive fan of him, but the way his style of football recently, I've got nothing to fault about him.
No, model professional. Villa were lucky that they didn't have the floodgates opened on them like Leicester did to Southampton, because it was just bouncing about all over the place, off of each other's goals, off the crossbar, off the post. Both goalies just didn't really seem to be anywhere near it. Seemed to have poor positioning on both fronts. Good goal, apparently by David Silva. It came off of the touch from De Bruyne's.
Yeah, I mean, I would have given that De Bruyne.
I would have,
if anything, it might have touched his t-shirt.
Yeah.
So it's not Silva's goal; it's his t-shirt's goal.
No, exactly. But a weird Di Canio volley from Gundogan, and Van Andinho got sent off for a second bookable offence. Yeah. A bit soft maybe, but you don't really want to be coming through the back of someone when...
No, I mean, especially if you're on a yellow, you don't want to be attempting fate, do you?
And Aston Villa had a really ugly kit on, so that's probably why they lost.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shame they didn't obviously get at least a goal or two, because you could see in that game they did.
They were sort of pushing, they were
yeah.
sort of showing the weakness in City's defence, especially... when you've got someone like Fernandinho playing centre half who's not that by trade, like they were taking advantage of that, knowing that that's not his position. They were unlucky not to get, but they didn't really have a lot of shots on target. So
nah.
Norwich 1, Man United 3. Lucky, I'd say, for United.
Yeah, I mean, again, like some of the other games that we've seen this week, it was just some sloppy football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of mistakes from defences, from a lot of losing the ball in the middle of the park, and then suddenly the team's through on goal. It was a well taken goal from Norwich. That was a consolation goal, wasn't it though? From
it was a great goal.
Hernandez, but really well taken, especially against the world's most expensive centre half, Harry Maguire. Turned him, and then great finish against De Gea. McTominay scored a great first time goal again. Yeah. Like we were saying this earlier, I don't think he's on United's level.
No, he's not up there. I mean, he's still young, so maybe it's because obviously he's not got that experience behind him.
He hasn't got a experienced person playing alongside him, which you sort of need in the middle of the park, don't you? But
it's just a difficult situation with some of these big clubs, if you know what I mean. Like, you've got youngsters there, but you've got no one for them to be following any footsteps with that are currently at the club.
Yeah, it's rebuilds that aren't really going so well. Especially it's hard, I think, for a team like United when you've had such great players in every position. Yeah. Like Scholes. Yep. Is like the player that comes to mind when you think of great centre midfield players. Yeah. And is he on that level? No. Not right now. Could he be? I don't know, because I don't think he's got the right people around him, both on and off the pitch. No, definitely. To sort of nurture that talent.
I mean, is there really anyone that United could bring in to kind of give him that, or send him somewhere? I'm not too sure.
I don't know. I think having someone with Paul Pogba would be the closest thing that you'd have.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's the sort of person that you want to aspire to be with. How he's been like back and forth, like he was at United, he went from United, he come back to United.
I think more off the pitch conduct, but you can't fault that he's like very a lot of humility, when especially with stick to fans that's going to come up again soon. And he sort of just carries himself like he just wants to play football, but I think it's just sometimes his off the pitch stuff of his extravagance is what maybe people. But then if you got the money, you got to spend it somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was 2 penalties that was missed as well, weren't there? Or saved.
Yeah, you had
Rashford is not a penalty taker.
No, and you also had
Krul won it as well. It was sort of like just off centre.
And Martial,
another weak one, who I would have preferred to take a penalty for United.
Yeah. I mean, Krul done well as well to keep both of them out.
Yeah.
Because you imagine if they went in, it would have been 5-1.
Yeah, exactly. But great finish from Martial, just like very reminiscent of his first goal for United. Probably their best player. Yeah. Who I really rate Martial highly. And I don't say that often because I don't like them. The big one on Sunday was Liverpool-Tottenham at Anfield. Ended 2-1. Very, very lucky Liverpool.
Yes.
But they always are. I think everything's going their way. I think it's theirs to lose. Because
Yeah, definitely.
Everything just seems to be with them.
I mean, it could be biased.
Games they should be losing, they're drawing. Games they should be drawing, they're winning. It's like...
I mean, VAR's helped... Well, personally, I feel, not in this game, but like previous games that we've seen, VAR has been...
On their side.
On their side for results.
Like the Mane penalty is the first thing that comes to mind, because I don't think that was.
So, I mean, Spurs, they showed some life in this game. Even though they didn't get a result out of it, they did show some life, so...
You were unlucky not to score more than one, because you scored in the first, 40 seconds, rebound, got straight onto Harry Kane's head.
Yeah.
He knows what to do from that far out. But Son hit the bar a couple of times, he had plenty of chances to finish it off, a heavy pass from Kane to Dele Alli.
Yeah,
a bit lighter, but it's
2-0. And then you had, obviously, that ball come back in, they went to Ali, and then obviously just missed. Like Kane could have kind of got that, but didn't. But
very unlucky. But then
I mean, they did show some life in that game. So
Henderson got the equaliser, which I think Spurs sort of backed off because of the foul that they thought was going to be given. Who was it in the area that went down? I think it was like Salah or something.
Yeah.
And then Henderson got the equaliser, well taken, and then penalty was given against Aurier on Mane. Was that a penalty? Because he was facing the touchline. Mane's behind him. He's drawn his leg to kick the ball out of play because he's like won it after a good recovery.
Yeah.
And then catches it on Mane's leg, so causing them both to fall over. Should that have been overturned? Not just because you're a Spurs fan. That's not malicious intent.
No, he didn't intend to do it, and you can tell by the way he went, like the build up to that.
Yeah.
But
if Mane was in front of him and then he's sweeping his leg, it's a different story.
Yeah, definitely.
But Mane's behind him, and it's just a case of just running in, like he just ran into the path of his leg as he's swinging to just clear the ball out of the area after winning it back. And Salah obviously doesn't mess about from... was it 5? Is it 5 yards? I don't know.
6 yards.
6 yards. I don't know.
6 yards. 8 yards.
6 yards. 8 yards. 10 yards. However many, a number of yards.
A number of yards.
He didn't miss.
He doesn't miss.
And
from
he's
that
unlucky
many
because
yards.
Gazzaniga had a really good game.
Yeah, I mean last few games since he stepped in after Lloris's injury, he's not shown any enthusiasm with his performances.
But this performance, his positioning.
Yeah, I mean he's not. But this game, he was there. He was stopping goals. He was
high energy, good.
Yeah,
focus.
I mean whether it's the push now with Vaughan back at the club that's kind of motivating him because he doesn't want to lose that position. Maybe he's now stepping up and taking his opportunity, which he should be doing with the number one being out anyway.
Yeah.
But I can't fault Spurs in that game.
No,
just a shame we didn't get a result.
I think them first half chances come back to sort of rue you a bit. Because you should have put them away and could have been 4-0 up by half time.
Totally agree.
Is this the last one?
No, we have one more after.
No, we have one more after. Can we save that one for last? Because I've got a lot to say.
Of course we can.
I've got a lot to say about the fan base for that one. Newcastle 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Goals from Lascelles and Johnny. Longstaff got sent off for a straight red. That was mistimed.
Yeah.
Because you could see there was no malicious, like his foot was down, but it's where he put his foot up by trying to pull it back, so then caught Jimenez in the thigh.
Yeah.
Very hard, like, there's no...
I mean, if it was just based on the first touch, it probably would have got a yellow out of that.
Yeah.
But where he went in, not probably purposely, but where it went in with the second studs to the thigh, that was definitely going to be a straight red.
Two teams that sort of took the wind out of Newcastle's sails a bit, because they were sort of have been riding high a bit since the United game, and Wolves obviously been very dangerous, hovering about that top end of the table where they can, I believe they can get in top 6, because they've been getting points where it matters.
Yeah, they've been doing alright.
But yes, well, should we get on to the main one that's kind of pissed me off a lot this week?
Let's go to the big game.
So, Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 2. 2 early goals from both centre halves. So obviously it's David Luiz. Very sort of scrappy though.
Yeah.
I think I think the best taken one was Socrates' one that was disallowed.
I'm not too sure on that myself, like it being disallowed.
Penalty was given via overturned VAR decision, which obviously good for the game, but I think it's perspective, and I think like we said before, like not having an off-pitch monitor, like the referee can only judge it on one angle unless he sees it from another one, and from certain angles you said it looked like a dive, and sometimes it looks like it's just like it's missed time from Chambers. And just poor defending to allow Jordan Ayew the equaliser. Kunduzi's rugby tackle on Wilfried Zaha was quite good.
Yeah.
NFL's at Wembley, mate. Obviously overturned goal, VAR for Socrates, late winner. Chambers, was it given as a dive?
Yeah,
I don't actually know because they never explained it.
No, they didn't explain nothing. I mean, just through the footage, you'd say it was given as a dive, but there was no card from it or nothing.
So Chambers has the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's got one player coming in from the front, one player coming in from the back. He sort of stumbles, tries to keep his feet, and then after he releases the ball, he sort of goes down as like he sort of gets collided a bit.
Yeah,
and then the ball rolls back to Socrates, who puts it in the back of the net.
In my eyes, he was sandwiched between two players. Yeah. I think it was very cheap of the ref to not allow you guys to have that goal and call it back for that free kick.
Yeah.
I mean,
it didn't make any sense because
there was just nothing there.
There was nowhere for him to go.
No.
He was just like sort of trapped in. But the main talking point of this game, and the main talking point of me for this week, because I've been just angry at because the main, as you can probably guess from the start, fans and players, the relationship there, where do you draw the line? How far are you allowed to go? Because stuff like Arsenal Fan TV exists for some reason, and these fan channels, and good on them for getting their voices out there and making, how much money they're making off of it, and by the fans for the fans. That's not what this is about. This isn't about trying to get views and stuff. This is just, these are conversations we have every day at work. This is that kind of thing. That's why I started doing the other podcast as well, because I'm not about just trying to get an easy ride, because we've only got 84 subscribers.
Yeah.
But Granit Xhaka was subbed off 2-2.
Yes.
And he's a man who's been subject to a lot of abuse in his time at Arsenal. He's now Arsenal captain. People don't agree with it, but whether you agree with it or not, you back the team.
End of the day, being a supporter, if you don't back it, it's not your choice, is it? It's the manager's choice who they decide. But
I saw that one as well.
Yeah, this is what I find disgusting.
So Granit Xhaka was subbed off. Threw the armband on the ground.
Heat of the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter who you are, what team you play for,
everyone's human.
Heat of the moment. If you've got all this abuse coming at you, you're going to react to it. If you don't react to it, then
but we expect him not to because they paid to do this.
Yeah, probably.
So he took the armband off. He threw it towards Aubameyang, who's vice captain, as he's coming off. And people said the main problem is he's coming off slowly, but he's being booed and ironically cheered because they're glad he's coming off. And then he's started taunting the crowd go on, come on, keep going, can't hear ya, do it a bit louder. And then because he's obviously getting a lot of stick from the fans as he's walking pitch side, and then told the fans to F off.
Yep.
Which that's for me the only bit that I don't really, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I get it. And then he took his Arsenal shirt off and walked straight down the tunnel.
Yeah.
Not over dramatic, people said I took it off and he threw it on the
floor.
I mean,
it wasn't dramatic. I mean, that was probably the only.
I think
other than telling the fans obviously to F off, him walking down the tunnel.
I would
after getting that much stick from your own supporters, you're gonna go. You're not gonna stand there and just take it, are you? You're not gonna go sit down on the bench.
And there's people
you're just gonna go.
Especially them the fan channels. I'm not gonna keep naming them because I don't want to, but. He is done as captain. You strip him of the captaincy. You go, that is not on. But that's not on him saying to the fans fuck off. But he has had the most abuse, I think, of an Arsenal player since being at Arsenal. He's got players. He's got ex-players saying that I don't agree with him being captain. Emmanuel Petit, who I loved as a player, I mean, I didn't see him play a lot because I was very young. But and he's also said like Mustafi's the king of like calamities and stuff like that and blah blah blah. You need to be united on all fronts when it comes to that kind of stuff. He has had death threats. He's regularly had posts on his. He doesn't have Twitter, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
On his Instagram posts, he's had to disable comments on some posts because people send him death threats. And I hope you break your legs. I hope you get cancer. It's disgusting. People, this is like for me like the worst thing. Like when obviously like he disables comments and stuff, they do the same thing to his wife.
Yeah.
Who went at the time when she was 9 months pregnant, about to give birth to their first child, saying, "I hope your child's stillborn."
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
And social media needs to take more of a stance on it because mental health is a big issue throughout society.
100%.
And football is a big platform where it can make a difference because of the amount of exposure.
Yeah.
You need to sort of make a stand and be like, we're not about this. Because it's all right to moan about, like, so everyone came together like they should have done for the Bulgaria game against England when the Bulgaria fans were just obscenely racist for no reason and all they got was a fine.
Yeah.
And playing 2 games behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's a joke.
The coming together of that's what you need. You need that kind of thing for mental health and abusing players as well. You cannot do that to a player and then not expect them to react. Because if that happened to anyone on the street, like me, like if that happened to me for like 3 years, I think I would have not bit my tongue for as long. I would have reacted way sooner, and it would have been a lot more than just fuck off.
Yeah, and in that sense, do you reckon it's down to Arsenal to personally single out their fans from the attacks that they're doing on the players, or do you think it should be like higher up, like the FA or whatever, should be looking into it more?
I think the governing body should, because the only thing we've done for racism is kicking, like, no room for racism in football, but we're not actually doing anything about it. It's all good, the FA and the Premier League saying, like, we're introducing all these things, but we're not actually putting anything behind it. Put some money into it, put some action, make a stand against these kind of things, make a stand against racism, abuse of players, all these things. Because if you don't, then the same thing's just going to happen over and over and over again. And like fans have no right to be that abusive to players, because if it was the other way around, then they'd be like screaming, like kicking and moaning, and Aubameyang also getting abuse.
Yeah, this is
our
what
most consistent performer, who's dug us out of poor performances, like saying we don't pay to watch that shit, like $2,000, we don't pay to watch that. We're like giving it to him as well. Like he's one of the few players that. I mean, he didn't play that great against Crystal Palace, but he performs consistently well and digs us out of holes all the time. Why are you going after your best players? Why are you jeering? Why are you causing this commotion? They're throwing coins at Granit Xhaka's car. It's disgusting. And at this moment in time, I hate our fan base.
Yeah.
It makes me just feel physically sick. I'm not proud to be a fan. And should he apologise? Maybe.
To some extent.
I think he should come out and be like, look, because people are worried about him at the club because he's that like mentally sort of just sort of not coping with it because eventually it's going to break you down.
I mean, I did read, I don't know how true this is, I did read obviously Emery did speak to him and said like about apologising, and he said no. To some extent I totally agree with him. After that reaction and how they made him feel, he shouldn't apologise, but
I feel like he should come out and be like,
he shouldn't have like sworn and whatever. But
I'm not comfortable with me or my family being spoken about and abused like on this level. That's not what I do. I'm here to play football, the game I love.
I mean, he's human. Yeah, he plays football for the club that these fans love and have followed for years or whatever. But targeting him isn't going to help him become a better player. If anything, it's going to make him feel less of a man. It's going to drop his morale, and he's just not going to perform week in, week out, which overall is going to make the club have more effect than what they're going to get at the minute.
It's disgusting. Fans and players, and like we've lost that connection. You need to have the players playing for the fans supporting them, because you need to be behind your team, win, lose or draw every week. You need the manager to stand up and sort of say like, look, what he said was wrong. Like if Emery had come out and said, look, what he said was wrong, but he's had more than enough abuse, and I agree with him that he should not be treated like this, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think Emery's got that kind of mentality. And I think he's being exposed for that. And you need the higher-ups to also stand behind it and sort this out one way or the other. And you either get rid of the players that can't cope with it, like they're just like flat out don't like. If he was like flat out didn't want to be there and went on strike, then you'd get rid of him. But you need to also be supportive of the ones that, you know, are good servants of the club and got the best interest, because he's a passionate person and he's always the most mature about it. With you know, win, lose or draw, we need to keep our head up, blah blah blah. And Bellerin's the same. You need to gather you need to keep everyone together. And
Definitely.
I feel like football's at a point where it couldn't be more apart right now.
It's a shame that we're having to finish this.
No, but I feel like
no, it's something that needs to be said, and it's something that, if there is any Arsenal fans or football fans, no matter what club you support, listening, like, you need to back your team regardless of your results. Your physical and like vocal outbursts towards players is going to have a major effect on your team, regardless of if you're aiming for it to be that way or not.
No, yeah, exactly. Everyone gets it. Like, you always get angry when like people playing shit, but you can be like, you could be at the game like, oh, like, he's this, he's that, like, you could like swear at him, but you can't be like saying like sending abusive stuff about family members, about like terminal illnesses,
definitely
and about like severe harm and injury. That's just not on. That's not how we do it. That's not how it should be done. And I think society has a lot to say about it.
100%.
But hopefully we can. I'd like to sort of spin this into like talking to people from clubs and see like their thing on it, because I'd like to sort of get into that. But
yes,
that's for another day, and we'll be back.
Moving on from that, we will go on to Player of the Week. For yourself,
for me, Jamie Vardy. Conducted himself well.
Very good.
I think you can pick any one of that Leicester team.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester is where you've got to pick it this week, and mine is Jose Perez again.
Very good. That was his first 3 goals as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, this could be the push on for him now, just to keep getting
very
the
Mahrez
goals
vibes.
Yeah, I mean,
him and Vardy and Maddison work very well together.
Very good. So, this is yours this week.
Oh, you can let me... Oh,
cool. It's mine!
Oh. So, start from the bottom, 20th to 1st. We go Watford remain at the bottom with 5, Norwich City with 7, and Southampton rounding out the bottom 3 with 8. Then you get, moving up from 17th to 14th, you get Newcastle on 9, Everton on 10, Aston Villa on 11, and Brighton on 12. Also on 12, Burnley in 13th, and Wolves and Tottenham, all separated by goal difference on 12 points, make up the rest of the bottom half of the table. Moving from 10th onwards, you get West Ham on 13, along with Bournemouth, then Sheffield United, and then Manchester United, taking us up to the top 6. Crystal Palace on 15th, Arsenal on 16th and 5th, and then top 4, Chelsea in 20th, level on points with Leicester City, separated by 10 goal difference.
I mean, that's
insane. Really.
I mean, obviously, you can take it account from this week. The goal difference needs to be ridiculously high.
Yeah, so it would have been 8. Yeah, it would have been 8 last week. Yeah. But then you look at City's goal difference, 23 plus 23, and they're on 22 points. Sitting 6 points behind league leaders Liverpool with 28 at the moment, going into a very important week this week. But we've also got Carabao Cup tonight, and we had some games yesterday. I think we had about 5 games yesterday.
Yeah,
City
like that.
played, I know that.
Yeah.
But you got Man United Chelsea tonight and Liverpool Arsenal. So we'll see if Liverpool are resting a lot of players, which they might. But I don't know. But until then, Nicholas, I'll hopefully fix this computer.
Yes.
And we'll be back next week.
I might not be here next week.
Or the episode will be out late. If you're on it, then the episode's out late. If you're not on it, then it's out on time.
Yes.
So,
Grimsby.
Grimsby Town! Okay, I'll wait to wear that Grimsby shirt. So subscribe to Pasty Sheep if you haven't already. We're pushing for the big 100. Yes. And at Pasty Sheep on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And got some merch stuff we'll be working on very soon. But until then, enjoy your week.
Yes. I shall get out of here.
Goodbye.
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 Goodbye.